Honestly, I don't even know how I got to this point in my life where I have achieved the most effective way of having some type of patience, but it's been the most extraordinary thing I can say the least. And there hasn't been anything in the last maybe 2 months, maybe more, that has caused me to be affected, mad, angry, sad, or even bothered. And I have to say that's probably been the greatest thing in the world. But before I even get into that, let's start the show. Yo, it's your boy back again with another video and another topic for you guys. I'm your host, the host with the most, the best, better than the rest, Mag Diesel. And we are back on another episode of The Bakery. So what I was kind of referring to was just having some type of confidence in myself to maintain and acquire the greatest thing on the planet, which is called patience. And we'll get into that as the episode goes on. It's you know me, you know how I do. Give a topic, give my experiences on it, and just kind of go from there, give y'all feedback, and so on and so forth. Once we do that, of course, we're going to get into movies, then we're also going to get into music, and then that'll be it. So get ready, sit back, grab your snacks. This will be a fun one. All right, let's get cracking. So when we think about the word patience, right, we think about what does it mean? What is it? Where does it come from? Patience means, at least to me and my own definition, it means to kind of just have a steady mindset, have a steady idea without getting frustrated or angry when things are not going your way. And a lot of times I feel like us as people, we always want. We want things to be this way. We want things to be that way. And that's a good thing until it's not. The reason why I say it's a good thing is because going through life, you don't want to have a mediocre lifestyle. We all want to live a specific and certain lifestyle that equips to us so that we can be in a happier mindset. We can go through every day not having to worry. We can do A through Z and get to 1, 2, 3. There's so many examples I can go with. But when you're able to maintain that type of patience, that the type of patience that you're not worried about anything, you're just focused on the now and you're getting to that next level in life, it's like you don't even know what happened because you're so used to, oh man, like I want this now, or oh man, if I buy this, I'll have this now. But in reality, we don't think about, what about if I do it this way, then I get to the point where I can get such and such. Or even in, work. We want to work these jobs. We want to be making 50, 60, 70 grand a year and making 12 figures, if that's even a realistic thing. I don't even know. But like 6 figures, just doing whatever job it is or whatever it is that we're good at. But we don't take the time to be like, okay, well, we don't take the time to sit and evaluate life when, we want that 6, 7 figures. But in order to get there, we have to work the $12 an hour, $16 an hour, to the $20 an hour jobs. Another example, sports. From middle school to high school. In middle school, everybody's good. Everybody's talented. Everybody is good at something. And then when you get to high school, it's like you have to work your way up to those top positions. So if you're on freshman team and you want to get to varsity, you have to practice. You got to do these steps. You have to do this. You have to do that in order to get there. And with all these examples, to me, it's just a way of saying patience is a virtue. And I'm pretty sure we've all heard that throughout our lives. I've heard it. I'm pretty sure A lot of my peers have heard it. I'm pretty sure, even people older than me have heard that. And I've even heard it from older people tell me like patience is a virtue, patience is a virtue. But growing up, I didn't want to have patience. I wanted to get to the end game, you know what I'm saying? When I was 16, I wanted to be 21. When I didn't have a car, I wanted a car. When I wanted to work photography for the Spurs, I ended up being security. There's ways and different avenues to get to these different goals that we have. And I know I've stated in the last video, we have to accomplish smaller situations in order to get to that bigger goal. So I think ultimately what I want to get across to people with this subject is just being able to maintain patience can change your life drastically. And how I can explain that is, for me at least, for my example, I would say I was very much comparing my life to others. So when I say comparing my life, a lot of my friends are married, engaged, have girlfriends, boyfriends, and everybody's buying houses. Everybody's buying these new cars. Everybody's making different types of money and so many other things. There's so much different stuff that a lot of people are doing that, like, for example, me, I don't have that life, And I think what really stuck with me the most is I always felt like, well, dang, I'm just being a failure, or dang, like, I'm not good enough to be at that point, or am I going to get married? Am I ever going to have a girlfriend? Am I going to have kids? Am I going to get a dog? I never understood how much of a joy stealer that was. I just thought that it would be motivation for me, but in reality, it just made me sad and made me feel like I wasn't worthy of that kind of stuff. So, as I'm going through elementary, middle school, high school, college even, and probably in 2023, when I was out of college, I still had that mindset of, well, everybody else has this, why can't I have this? Little did I know, it just wasn't my turn yet. So I felt like, just looking back, a lot of my impatience caused me to overthink. It caused my body to break down in certain ways. Because my body broke down in certain ways, it was because I was eating a certain type of way and I wasn't working out. I was just living a very unhealthy lifestyle. It didn't exactly click to me. And so at one point, I didn't get sick, but again, my body was functioning in a very awkward way. So I had spent a few days in a hospital. Thank God everything was okay. It was just, my diet was just not where it needed to be. And a lot of that was just because I was just feeling a certain way about myself. So when something isn't right in one place, that affects everything else. It's kind of like when you're working at a warehouse and everybody has a certain role. If one role isn't there to be completed properly, the whole system's messed up. And you won't be able to get that back on track unless you find the person that's supposed to be in that spot. So in life, if you think a certain way, you're going to feel a certain way. If you eat a certain way, your body's going to react a certain way. If you don't take a shower for 3 days, you're going to smell really, really bad. There's always a cause and effect. There's just no getting around that. And for me, it didn't click to me until I actually sat down and had that issue happen. And it was kind of like a wake-up call, not only from myself, but from God himself. He was trying to get my attention, like, hey, you're doing a lot of this. I need you to refocus, regain your composure, and let's do this instead. Because you keep going down this path, I can only give you so many warnings. Once you stop listening to me, there's just nothing else I can do. And so it kind of scared me, and it woke me up, and it shocked me in a way that literally buckled down. And I was like, okay, this is what's going on. let's figure it out. Let's fix it. Let's get to a point where I'm not having this constant issue, not believing in myself, eating bad, having a clouded mind. Clutter just, it gets in the way, and there's no clear skies. It's just darkness, dark cloud, rain, all of that. So once I realized that and I took the proper steps and gained my awareness back, a lot of things started to change. After everything that happened, school got better. I was able to think in a much more positive way, finish college, graduated in December 2022, got out of college, immediate started applying for work, trying to find a job, trying to find something good, trying to find something to start me out in order to get where I'm trying to be. Ended up working for the Spurs, did a report writing, did that for a year, ended up, needing something more. So I worked 3 jobs at once, and then I finally was able to find another opportunity the year after, which was building security. And that's where I'm at right now. Building security has been a blessing within itself. I thank God every day for that job, because he didn't have to put me in a position to get that job. But because I was constantly doing the necessary steps and taking those necessary steps, he was able to open that door for me. Being in building security, I was able to make a little bit more income. Then with the income came the chance to get another car, because I was beginning to have the issues with the car. So I was like, okay, what's the next step? What can we do? How can I plan for that next part in my life? And again, I started life a lot later than a lot of my peers. And although I had explained it so many times and tried to allow people to embrace an understanding of where I was coming from, not everybody was going to get it. They just thought, oh, he's just being lazy. He can move out. He can live here. He can live here. He can get this car. No, that was never the case. And I knew that. And I knew patience. This is patience right now. We have to be patient with life. I can't rush what's not meant for me in this moment. With the new job, with this building security, came better income. Then I was able to be in a position to where I could get a newer car. Got a newer car, got the insurance, got the title, everything that comes with it. Then came the next step of getting rid of the older car, giving it to somebody who was less fortunate than I was. I was able to do that, got income from that, saved it, put it towards, my PC that I recently built. And it's just, right now, it's definitely, I've had my days where I'm not 100%, just motivated. But you're going to have days like that. The point is, are you going to sit and stay in that funk? Or are you going to continue to work? Are you going to continue to grind for the things that you want? Are you going to continue to keep pushing forward, but also realize you're in your own spot right now? You can't be with everybody else. Everybody else had to get it their own way. You're getting things you're supposed to get your way in a timely manner. And it's not, when I say timely manner, I don't mean rushed. I don't mean picked up and dragged. I mean, you're doing step by step everything that you need to do in order to be okay in the long run. And I think that has truly helped me become not only a better me, but also how I interact with others, how I treat myself, how I treat other people, how I talk. It's like I said, it's a snowball effect. So it's like, once one thing changes, then another thing changes, then another thing changes, and it's just constantly rolling. As of right now, I'm in a good space. I'm in a good spot. I'm still trying to figure it out, but we're going to get there. That's just like with this podcast thing. I really want this to jump off, but it doesn't jump off unless I do the work. So I have to continue to be like, okay, what can I do next? What can I talk about? This stuff isn't easy. I constantly have to do everything required for the next episode. What's the topic gonna be? What are my key points? Where do I see this episode going? Am I going to be on track? If I get off track, how am I going to jump back on track? What parts do I need to cut? It's different. It's different. It's just so many different things that I have to do that go into the podcast. And it's just me by myself. I do everything by myself. Of course, I feel like people don't take it serious. Of course, I feel like people don't think my podcast isn't good enough. People just, oh, he posted again? That's all right. Or when I post on TikTok, I feel like maybe there's somebody out there that doesn't like my TikToks. But I can't allow that to stop me from doing what I'm doing. I love what I do. This is something I'm passionate about. This is something that I love. The more love I put into what my podcast is, the better I feel, the better I could possibly get, and the better the outcome may be. I say all that to let you guys know, like, just continue to be patient. If you're in a spot that I'm in, trying to figure things out, trying to, find your own way, continue to do that. It's only going to get better. You have to be willing. It's going to be ugly before it gets pretty. It's the best way to put it. You gotta be willing to roll with the punches to come out victorious. And I just want to make sure I'm being a voice for the voiceless and allowing my situation, my circumstances to be an inspiration to somebody else out there that may be wanting to do something that they love so much and they just can't find that spark. Well, I'm here to tell you this is your sign. Whatever it is, brother, sister, auntie, uncle, go do it, man. It only starts unless you start it. Let me rephrase that. It won't start unless you start it. So if you feel like you got something that you could benefit off of, 100% chase that. Don't let somebody else's opinion or somebody else's success deplete what you want to do. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own, talent that is being grown into something more than what it is right now. Get it off the ground, shoot for the stars, let it play out, and you won't regret it. I promise you that. Last but certainly not least, let's get into this wonderful, beautiful movies and friends. So, what have I seen lately? Let me think. Hold on. We're right there. We're almost there. What have I seen? Oh, this is a wonderful movie. Recommended by my mama. Shout out to you, Mama Mac. Love you. Everybody say hi, Mama Mac. Hi, Mom. I know you're probably watching this. Hi, Mom. Hey. I'm being good. It's actually 3 a.m. You're over there asleep, so you probably can't hear me. Anywho, she recommended the movie The Forge to me, which is a Christian movie for those who are believers. If you are not a believer, nothing against that. If you want to watch it, it's on Netflix. But The Forge. I know none of the actors, but from the story to, the plot and everything like that and what it's supposed to represent, I have to say it was very good. It was something that spoke to me personally, just as far as, my life and how I'm trying to figure things out and how I'm trying to continue to walk a good path and be the person I was created to be and put on this planet to be. It just kind of gave me, and it probably gives other people a different perspective on life as a Christian man or woman. There's things in this life that we want to pursue and we want to keep around and, have as a escape valve, but sometimes it's just not meant for us. It's not meant to stick around, and God wants us to get rid of those distractions so we can focus more on Him and listen to Him as He's trying to guide us, as He's trying to help us grow as people, not only as people, but as Christians. Or again, if you don't believe in that, totally fine. We don't discriminate over here at the bakery. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like their religion is frowned upon. You do what you got to do. You live how you want to live. It's totally up to you. But I have to say that movie really sparked a fire under my tail, and it let me know that I'm doing good. Not only am I doing good, but I'm making sure I'm getting rid of those distractions, those things that don't necessarily need to be in my life, and taking in not only his grace and his mercy, but also accepting what he's bringing towards my life. And again, everybody knows me, and everybody knows how grateful I am for that. I just want to be a great human being. I want to give people, again, like I said in this video, I want to give people a voice and allow people to know that even though we're all going through something, we're all going to get through it at the end. And I think that was the biggest thing in the movie, is that the gentleman was dealing with a lot of anger and a lot of things that were piled up on his heart. But because he gave it to God and allowed him to work him through that, he was able to be successful, have a wonderful job, take care of his mom, get a new car, and the things that he earned walking a correct path and just being the man that he was supposed to be. So that's all I got to say about the movie. The movie is great. Again, it is on Netflix. Not sure how long it's on there for, but I would recommend it. 10 out of 10. Wonderful watch. But with all that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. Again, it is 3 a.m, and if I didn't record this, I couldn't forget myself. Again, too passionate, too determined to be great. That's all I want to be, is great. So I appreciate you for coming through for another special week of the podcast, the Bakery Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Mac Diesel. Hope and pray that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything crazy. Be good. Love somebody. Tell somebody they're handsome. Tell somebody they're beautiful. Compliment their shoes. That's everybody's homework today. Be nice to somebody this week. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.